All right, Owls, this is going to be your last set of flip notes for this part of the unit. Our unit test is coming up, and we spent a little bit of time at the end of last week talking about photosynthesis and cellular respiration, which were two processes that are necessary for plant survival. This will be based on the last process of this standard, based on things that are necessary for plant survival, and this will be about transpiration. Remember that ending ation means an action, and this action or process will be explained throughout this. All right, transpiration. By definition, it is the process of water loss through the stomata. Now, this water loss could be letting water out or keeping water in. So when you see the word water loss, don't just think that this means letting the water go. In some places, it could mean not letting the water go, but this is because it's a process that can do one or the other. There are three parts of a plant that you must know in 6th grade. Don't get me wrong, there are plenty more parts of a plant. Epidermis is the first one. Its function is on a leaf, and the epidermis and stomata together prevent water loss. Epidermis is kind of like our skin. Obviously, plants don't have skin like humans do, but the outside covering would be known as the epidermis, and the epidermis works together with the stomata to help prevent water loss. So next, logically, would be stomata. The stomata, it allows carbon dioxide in and oxygen out, so you can see how important the stomata is for photosynthesis. Also, the stomata, just like stated before, it works to prevent water loss. So the epidermis and the stomata work together, but the stomata's job is not just for transpiration, it's also for photosynthesis. Now keep in mind, the stomata I always refer to as like the mouth. Think about a mouth, our mouth breathing in and taking out. Obviously plants don't have mouths, but if you're going to relate this part of a plant to the humans, it would be our mouths. And then guard cells. Guard cells have two functions. The first one is they surround and controls the size of the opening in the stomata. So think about the word guard. Okay, it's to protect, meaning these are kind of like the muscles around your mouth. Obviously, it's not a mouth and they're not muscles, but the guard cells are around the stomata. They will figure out if it should open or close. So that leads to the second function, which means the opening and closing of the guard cells regulate transpiration, meaning the guard cells say we need to release more water or we need to keep that water in. With that said, those are the three parts you need to know, and there's some key elements here. First one is preventing water loss is vital, and the word vital in science or in any context means important for the survival of plants. Think about a cactus. A cactus must keep its water because it's so limited in the desert. So the process of transpiration with a cactus would be much different than the process of transpiration with the plants in your backyard. Regulate means to control the level of water for a plant. Regulations mean controls that companies or people have. So the word regulate means to control. And the last one, transpiration takes place in all green plants. Just like photosynthesis, this is an all green plant process. Humans do not go through transpiration. However, transpiration is often linked to perspiration. I often say that humans perspirate and plants transpirate. So it's somewhat accurate, but obviously not accurate because they're not humans. This is the last set of notes that should help you finish your study guide.